Hello, Jackie Rowe here, Chief Excellence Officer at Inspired Journey Consulting. And today is very, very special because I have with me Gila Shirichulo and Giulio Bernini, the co-founders of Coming Back to Center. Now, they have an incredibly special virtual program called Behind the Mask that we're going to learn more about today. Something that you can participate in no matter where you sit in this world, which is beautiful, and really providing that type of healing that we all need. So, without further ado, welcome.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi,
Nice to be on.
Jackie. Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
Oh, absolutely. I love so much of what you're doing. I want to speak more about coming back to center to begin with and what inspired you to start.
So coming back to center is really a gem to me. When I look at myself, I could say that my life is one that is dedicated to first empowering myself and then other people that are in search of their power. The urge to self-explore, getting to know ourselves, finding our center and moving in life from a place of purpose, intention, and aliveness has always been very interesting to me. I've always been in the exploration of myself and moved in life looking for more joy, for more aliveness and connectedness, and in search of how I could use my resources choicefully so that I could create impact and make a difference in this world. Our Coming Back to Center workshops are held in nature, and nature has always been an ally and a great container for me to support me in my personal growth journey. And coming from an expressive arts and Gestalt background, I've always wanted to practice this transformational work in nature since I've seen its impact on myself and others. And becoming witness to my own transformation, my longing has been to bring this work and this awareness out to the world, to make it available to others who are in search of themselves and who are looking for different pathways to reconnect with their power. And giving birth to Coming Back to Center came at a time where I was in search of my own center, of how I could find this way of being, where I could feel my sense of belonging, sense of becoming, my purpose, which I truly felt disconnected at that time. And I truly am grateful to have met Giulio and that our paths crossed at the perfect time for, I think I could say, both of us.
That's so beautiful. I think it's something that we can all really relate to. And throughout our world, there's these moments where we're just not exactly where we need to be. We're feeling off balance. We don't know what our purpose looks like. And we're just running in this, for lack of better terms, rat race.
Absolutely.
So, Giulio, tell me from your perspective, your inspiration and what Coming Back to Center and the workshops that you run, what they're all about.
Let me just start by saying that it looks like both Gil and I were meeting at a time in our life where we were in a delicate intersection. We were facing in some challenges. I remember, if I go back to 2012 and those years, I was facing into a separation with my wife, with what is now my ex-wife. I had just recently moved away from many years of corporate life and had only recently started, this new path or becoming a coach. And as Gila, I was also in deep waters. In many ways, I was facing into the questions of what it means to have a purpose in life and what was my longing. And in many ways, that time, the gift of that time was first to meet people like Gila and inspiring teachers that I would say put me on path. And then also create or co-create this program, which was in many ways an answer to the quest, to the inquiry that I was in. So I'll just add a little bit more around what Coming Back to Center is. We have all experienced time in our life where we indeed off-center and not aligned in the way we behave with what we deeply care about, our values, the best version of ourselves, and times where we actually do feel that we are moving from a place that we call center. And so intuitively, we know what that looks like. And yet we don't necessarily spend enough energy, time, or even attention looking at what is it that is needed to cultivate the self that actually moves from center. And that is pretty much what we do in our program. I'll try to summarize the components of the methodology, which are three main components: somatic coaching, expressive arts, horses. With coming back to center, we combine them in a way that makes this program really unique.
I think that's really exciting. One of the things that I noticed both of you spoke to is being in nature and working with horses and all of these different things that we're all really craving. And I think what is interesting is that you've been able to shift this to do something that's virtual in order to really help people immediately. Can you speak to that?
Yes, of course. This has also been a very exciting experiment for us, moving from nature and fitting ourselves within the computer into a Zoom platform. And it shows the creativity, but basically, we believe that we know that this is a time where living with the mask became our truth with the pandemic. The physical mask that we are wearing is a sign of social responsibility and protection. And for us, the metaphorical mask is one that we work with throughout our workshop, this online series, which is this place that has come to armor us and conceal our true identity through the many challenges, wounds, and traumas that we've been facing in life. We carry so much behind the mask that we wear, and there are so many emotions and baggage that we have collected. So we're basically interested to find a way to express our emotions in the moment, as well as going deeper and looking at what the mask is saying about us, what it's saying to us, and how we got to wear it. Are we aware of that? And what else can be expressed? We want to explore what are we hiding that might be vulnerable to us, that we prefer to keep hidden and out of visibility. The focal point here is to connect to our longings, to what we deeply care for, and how we can bring that to life and make sure that we're not concealing and suppressing that life force and energy. So we want to look into that longing that wants to be reborn, which lies behind our mask. And we also want to explore the commitments we can make to start living life from a place of, I would say, balance, harmony, and center.
I love that. Myself, I've danced with depression a few times, and I remember my first journey into it, that mask that I wore for so long of smile and everything's fine,
Yeah,
covering what was behind that. And then really, as you grow, you see these different ones that form anyway without your knowledge.
yeah, very familiar.
Absolutely.
So if the components are indeed somatics and expressive arts and horses, how are we going to do that online? So obviously we will not be using the horses, but the other two components of the somatics and expressive arts will be part of our methodology.
Beautiful. Can you speak more to what the details of this looks like?
We will be moving through a number of different processes that will make use of painting, of storytelling, of poetry, as well as practices that are rooted in somatics, where we learn to center from not from a place of what's the idea that I have of what it looks like, but really embodying the capacity to move from center in life. So really practices that you can then bring back home and practices that you can use on a daily basis.
Yeah, I also wanted to add that these are 6 consecutive weeks. This workshop is continuing it will be held in 6 weeks, 2 hours each week. And we truly believe that it's this kind of process works allows the work to happen. And between each week, even though we're not in contact, the work still continues to happen. And that's how change and new awarenesses lead to new openings. That's what we believe.
That's absolutely fantastic. Registration is now available. One of the things that I think is really fair to say is that everyone can benefit from this at a personal level. I'm so grateful for the two of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all that you do for the world, that you're putting
Thank
out
you.
there, the help that you're bringing, because it's so needed. And without you, we would all be a mess.
Hopefully, at some point, we will all be back face to face, and you will be able to come to Tuscany, which is where I'm actually talking right now, and we'll be able to do these workshops live and have you with us.
And please make sure to tell everybody where you typically have your workshops.
Our base is in Tuscany, in Montebelli. I call it a place of heaven on earth. It's an organic farm, which also has a wonderful hotel in it. And actually, Giulio's family are the people who have found it. And that's why it has an extra meaning and value for us.
In the meantime, you can spend some time with Gila and Giulio registering for Behind the Mask. So you can go to their Instagram, Coming Back to Center, or you can simply go within the link in my bio to register there. So thank you again, and stay inspired.